Gratcast take 3.
Oh my friends.
Should each one of these count as episode 149, 150, and 151?
I don't know. I mean, how much did you guys hear before? If anyone is still on, let us know where we left off because this thing is hilarious.
We didn't leave off anywhere. I deleted those messes the moment they happened. We're just gonna take it from the not the entirely top, but the top of our stuff.
Okay, how about you start, Kris? How's it going?
All right. So this weekend we did some street teams. I don't know why YouTube's not working, but we're just gonna deal with that. Can you go to restream there real quick?
Sure.
Okay, it's saying it's live, but we'll see what happens. So this weekend we did some street teams for ref ratings.
Street teams. Who's ref ratings? Ref ratings. They've got a new app available on iPhone right now. Will be available in a couple weeks on Android. Where if you're watching a football game and you do not like what the ref calls, you can go on there, pick the game, pick the play, say that sucked, and tell them what you think it should have been. You could win prizes. So
Okay.
That was what we did. That's for their company.
We are on the channels. We're streaming along here. I can see the chats now. We are ready to rock and roll.
That flag is right across Kyra's face.
So let's pretend everything previously never happened and just dive right into this.
Okay. So this weekend, Street Team went around the LA Coliseum for the Rams versus Saints game and gave out flyers and let people know about Ref Ratings' new app. That's Kyra in the middle and Ariana over on what would be my right.
The girls actually did an awesome job because this game was between the Rams and the Saints, and I don't know how many people watching are football fans, but last year the Saints lost out on a trip to the Super Bowl because of a horrible non-call made by the referees that favored the Rams, and ultimately that non-call led to the Ref Ratings app and inspired this whole thing to be created, and they brought us on and asked us to help out run the street teams, get some girls to go around, pass out flyers, wearing their cute little referee t-shirts and outfits.
And how much would they know that the game would actually be pertinent to their app that day?
Oh.
Yeah, tell them what happened during the game.
That was unbelievable.
So all the Saints people are taking the flyers. They're all, oh, I should have had that last year. I'm like, if only you could make the refs do something about it anyway. And they're like, it won't happen again, though. It won't happen again. I'm like, well, if it does, you got the app now. Go ahead and tell them what you think about it. So, watching the game and...
The entire game, once again, changes on a horrible call that goes in favor of the Rams over the Saints. A strip sack led to a fumble recovery, return for a touchdown in a very close game that would have gave the Saints all the momentum, the lead, all the good stuff working in their favor. But the referees are like, oops, our bad. We blew the whistle a little too early. So you guys can have the ball, but you don't get that 80-yard touchdown. And guess what? From that moment on, all the momentum was in the Rams' favor, and they end up blowing them out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very relevant. So hoping that Ref Ratings, I know quite a few people were installing it, but hoping they actually used it. I did hear, though, they blocked the signal in the Coliseum.
David Stay saying he put the dyslexic voodoo on him. The doo-voo on him.
So we did that, and what are you doing next weekend, Kris?
Right, so that was actually practice for this weekend. I'm heading back to Buffalo. It's actually the big topic of the show. A lot of things happening in Buffalo this weekend, and the first one is Friday night. We're going to be doing a live stream of the Mafia Homecoming Party being thrown by Code Sox and a whole bunch of different sponsors, including Gratcast Productions. Special guests like Stevie Johnson, some other Bills alumni. Rumor has it there's going to be a lot of current players that are showing up, but we can't promote or confirm the current players because they got a game that weekend. So some of them might just show up randomly and hang out.
Curfew.
Hang out for a few hours, and then I got to head home for curfew. But we'll be live streaming that entire event. Gratcast will have a couple cool commercials playing during the live stream. let's hope Soho's internet is a little more stable than Selmar's internet, and we have no issues with the stream that night. Then Saturday, we're going to be doing a live stream from the Hammer Lot, where we're going to have...
What is the Hammer Lot, for those who are not Buffalonians?
Okay. So anyone that's not from Buffalo that's ever heard about Buffalo tailgate parties and crazy assholes jumping through tables and lighting each other on fire and all the stuff that makes Buffalo Bills fans go viral for bad reasons, all of that stuff happens in the Hammer Lot.
Okay.
Let's see.
So you're going to be having a big party there?
Don't worry, there'll be no refs soon. All robots, and you will not be able to question anything, or otherwise you will be vaporized.
Honestly, though, if the cameras can catch it at so many different angles, why shouldn't that be a program that someone has developed where through all the cameras, one computer up there sees it, and it just, and then it makes them go back to wherever they were then. It can be 10 seconds later. You just go, sorry, everyone stop, we're going back to this point. Everybody walk your asses back. You could totally do that.
No.
Okay, so something happens. Everyone keeps going.
You can't just keep going.
And everyone's... Well, of course they do, because it takes a second anyway. Even when the refs do it, it's a good second after it happened.
They blow the whistle, the play stops, they impose the penalty, and then they continue on. But what could easily be done, and the technology does exist, is to put a GPS marker in the football that will track the farthest forward progress of a play, and that can determine where the field position is and how far the ball carrier made, so they can get accurate spots. That would make the game a lot faster, more efficient, and more accurate.
Would the ball also have sensors on the inside to tell if it was a fumble, if someone actually had full control over it? They felt fingers on it the whole time, as opposed to bounce something off someone and, maybe or maybe not.
That could probably easily be done. But Saturday, a little bit of a happy, sad party we're going to be live streaming. In the Hammer Lot, we're going to be having a memorial service for Pancho Villa. Pancho Villa, and I probably should have had some pictures queued up for this. Pancho Villa was a beloved super fan of the Buffalo Bills who unfortunately passed away from cancer in May. And just when the team started to get good...
Didn't he do the draft call for him?
Yeah, he did do the last two announced a couple of the draft picks for the Buffalo Bills. This year, I think he actually announced it from the hospital. Mm-hmm. They called him and he did it over the phone. But he passed away like 2 weeks after the draft, and it was pretty sad. But they're going to have a big party and memorial for him in the parking lot on Saturday.
In Hammer's Lot?
Yep, and we're going to be streaming all of that. So I'm sure there's going to be plenty of tables broken in Pancho Villa's honor. And then Sunday, we're going to be doing a live stream podcast from the very same Hammer Lot that will include 3 former Bills players. It's going to be the Cold Front Report and the Why So Serious podcast, which is actually Stevie Johnson's podcast. Cool. So it's going to have Stevie Johnson, Lee Evans, and Donald Jones, 3 former Buffalo Bills alumni that'll be hosting that podcast. And also, we're going to be doing, as part of that live stream, we're going to be broadcasting a very, very secret, time-honored tradition from Buffalo Bills lore that goes all the way back to the Super Bowl days. There's a man called Pinto Ron who has a old 80s Pinto tricked out to turn the engine into a grill. So they cook all the food on the engine of the car, hot dogs, hamburgers, all of that stuff. And then at the end of the tailgate party, before everybody heads into the game, a big circle of Bills Mafia all forms, and in the center of the circle is Pinto Ron with his hot dog, and he says, "I need some ketchup and mustard." And everybody in the circle sprays him down with bottles of ketchup and mustard. And the guy just gets covered, head to toe, in ketchup and mustard. Everybody hoots and hollers, woo! Then we all head into the game, and we watch the Bills go 3-0.
That's been happening since when?
Since the early 90s, possibly the late 80s. But definitely the early 90s.
Was he inspired by Dazed and Confused, or was Dazed and Confused inspired by him? You know what scene I'm talking about, where they take all the girls who are going to be freshmen and they cover them, they make them lay down on the ground, they cover them with everything, and then...
I'd say those are 2 completely independent traditions. Yeah.
Sounds very similar. Yeah. Very similar.
It's not really, though.
Okay. Alright.
No.
So Sunday is the game?
Yes. Sunday is the game.
And Saturday is the memorial. What time is the memorial? And you're live streaming the memorial.
Yep, 2 p.m. Eastern. So
Until
the memorials,
so when they can check it out.
David's absolutely right. I should have had pictures queued up for this stuff. To be perfectly honest, my head is already kind of shifting gears towards Buffalo. We've been balancing some of the regulation CF stuff we're going to talk about here in a minute, and getting ready. The plane leaves first thing Wednesday morning, so all of this stuff and attention have been ready to get the live stream. We've got to get the graphics done. We've got to get some of the equipment set and positioned. So all of our focus have been on these things. But we will have video highlights, David, to share when we come back next week of all of these time-honored traditions.
Ooh.
Yes. So that's... Oh, David, I'm gonna be taking video, David. There's gonna be actual moving pictures that are happening with all of this. So if you want to pull some stills out of that, we can easily do so. Yeah, so that's all happening this weekend. That's going on.
This coming weekend.
Yes. Yep. This weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So let's move to the Gratwick section there and talk a little bit about some of that stuff. Buy me some fresh air here so I can take a sip of water. Still got that cough.
I do.
Absolutely still got that cough.
Un poquito.
We took 2 weeks off hoping Andrea could heal up.
No, that is not why you did, and don't you dare try and throw me under that bus. I will start throwing you under buses. I'll throw you under trains. Oh, don't you ever throw a girl under a freaking bus.
No, I guess it's just a permanent cough. So you got the TB. I'm going to start calling you Doc Hollywood.
I do not have the TB. I took
Doc
a test.
Holliday.
So... here's a little update.
Oh, update.
I'm going to be working with someone as an overnight aide
sound effect here.
who has cerebral palsy. So her immune system is obviously a lot lower. One of the things I had to do to make sure that I was qualified is I had to get a TB test. And woohoo, my little test. No TB in this body. Never had it. Not going to give it away. Yay.
We'll see how long you last with that smoker's cough.
TB, yes.
Yeah.
Whatever, dude.
They're not going to keep that cackle around.
Speaking of not keeping things around, isn't it nice that Kris will be gone for a week in Buffalo?
That's the beauty is I'm going back solo this time, so we don't have to worry about Andrea.
It is a beauty.
We don't have to worry about Andrea catching the East Coast flu when she comes back every single time.
Nope, you just got to worry about not being able to get in the door when you come back. Thank you, David.
David, that's one of the best lines in any movie except for Tombstone, because there's one better line in Tombstone. And that, you tell him I'm coming, and you tell him hell's coming with me. Fantastic line. Tombstone's an absolutely great movie. It's probably one of my top 3 all-time favorite movies. Yeah, so you talk a little bit about tests here, dear. Buy me a few moments of time, and I'll dive in here off and on the test topic.
So we talked about it on the last episode, the regulation CF, which is not crowdfunding, but it is the option of equity instead of just giving your money to someone and never seeing anything except hopefully a t-shirt, which 90% of the time you don't even get that. You just get like a thank you shout out on their website.
Yeah, David, where's my t-shirt?
So our regulation CF, which is the equity purchase, for $100 you can get a share. That is going to be coming out very soon, but one of the main things that you need is someone who can help you get the word out there. We have gone through so many different levels of getting publicists, of getting marketing companies, of getting publicity companies altogether.
A lot of false starts with this review process.
It's not even the review process, it's the people who are supposed to be getting it ready for when it was live, who have failed. Like, everyone talks a great game, everyone demands payment up front, and Tess will be the first one who I actually think has followed through with anything, and she just started. Like, holy hell in a handbasket. Let me tell you a little bit about Tess. Tess is a social media guru. And I'm not blowing smoke like Kris likes to.
She's a technology guru,
makes it sound like every person in the entire world is the best.
Hold up. I give everybody the benefit of the doubt.
No, he gives them the benefit of there will never be a doubt.
No,
never be a doubt.
I fill them up with confidence and let them know we believe in them and we want them to succeed and we want them to be successful.
And this time we found someone who has already succeeded, has already been successful, who knows this like the back of her hand and loves what we're trying to do, and loves the fact that we have thought of so many different things that a lot of clients do not, it doesn't even occur to them on what could possibly happen and how we need to be prepared for it.
She's a true tech nerd.
She is amazing. Amazing. And I'm not going to brag about the very huge show that she worked for and got Emmy nominated for the website and social media.
We've got Emmy nominated people on the roster now.
Specifically worked on and was the head of and led the charge for. I'm just saying we are incredibly grateful that she is giving a newbie company like ours a chance to get the word out there of the amazing things we're trying to do for creators and audiences all over the world.
So she pulled an all-nighter on our behalf last night.
And she wasn't feeling good. She's beyond a trooper. She's not been feeling good for the past couple of days, and she's still on the phone with Kris, texting Kris, emails with Kris, going back and forth on all this stuff, even while at the doctor.
And as soon as this show's over, we're going to be right back at it, because that's been the focus the last couple of days, is wrapping all of these things up, getting them tight, so people that watch Gratcast know that I kind of meander through the paths, explain a lot of stuff, give you guys way more information than anyone really wants me to give you guys. And I'm a little too far into the embracing the transparency. I err on the side of over-transparent and need to balance the middle ground. As I like to say all the time, one extreme is just as bad as the other. And if I'm going to err on the side of one or the other, I err towards too much transparency, too much honesty, too much information, and sometimes it gets overwhelming for people. This answer and this explanation is a perfect example of all of this.
It's way too much information. He just can't stop himself. And she knows how to see through everything he's saying and boil it down to, here's what people actually need to know. Here's what they want to know. And just give them the right stuff. Yeah. Don't give them so much that you're lost and you give up in the search.
She's
no more forest. Just give them a couple freaking.
She's a Kris translator, because not only does she speak the tech language, she understands the blockchain stuff that we want to do. She understands the industry and the perils and tribulations of it. She's dealt with it more than even we have, to that extent, and she's played ball on the big boy levels and stuff. And so she understands all the moving parts, where a lot of the different people we've talked to or on the team or things, they specialize in one little area, and how that translates and connects to the other areas isn't really in their wheelhouse and all that, and there's a big learning curve on all of these type of situations. Whereas Tess can connect the dots and grasp all of this stuff right from the jump, and also even more importantly, she likes to call this, my mom needs to be able to understand this. My East Coast Ohio mom needs to be able to understand this. And right now, my mom's eyes would gloss over if she tried to read all of this stuff and understand and comprehend all of it. So she spent all night last night going through, clarifying this stuff, limiting it down to, okay, we can tell this type of stuff over time to people as they gradually get involved and gradually fall down the rabbit's hole. We can give them more and more information. But here's the pertinent details. Here's the things people need to know so they can understand what a great idea it is, how true and authentic you guys are to wanting to really deliver something that helps and supports the artists and puts them in better positions and gives them the infrastructure that they need to be successful. But we give it to them in chunks, in bites that are easily consumable, easy to understand, and easy to get excited about. So she's got me excited because she's amazing. She has the ability to do that. Yes. So as soon as the behind-the-scenes stuff that she's been working on for the last 2 days, which is our campaign page and all the information and all of this stuff that has to go through the review process, and we'll be ready to share in a few weeks here. Once we've turned the page on that and submitted it, hopefully by tomorrow, then she can really get into the nuts and bolts of the social media stuff, the websites, how we start sharing all of this content and start growing the actual audience and awareness and all of that. Because here's one of the conversations we had today. And she's dead on with this, and it's something that, you know, hopefully if people are following the campaign and watching, because this is going to be one of the most recent episodes and all of that, and they're watching this, and We don't have a huge audience for Gratcast. I don't promote Gratcast. I don't go out and beg for listeners and viewers for Gratcast.
We don't buy them.
No. And because we're doing a million other things, when we do Gratcast, Mondays are dedicated to Gratcast. We share the information, we talk about the information and all that. But we don't spend the rest of the week carving out highlights and clips and that. Every once in a while, if I have time, I try to do that, but it's not something that we're able to do consistently because we're trying to build a damn company. So there's not a concerted effort to whore ourselves out and just get as many viewers as possible for the show. Because as I explained to her, we're kind of documenting this for future people's discovery. For people that start getting exposed to the campaign, they can go all the way back to 2011, see what started Gratcast, why we're doing this, what all the steps along the way where we came up with ideas. Sometimes those ideas came up during the discussion of Gratcast. The whole bus tour we went on around the country, that was like an idea that was born during a conversation on Gratcast. And we didn't want to look like liars and like we were making shit up. So we followed through and talked every single week on the podcast about how we're going to do this, how we're going to pull it off. And we did. And we everything's kind of evolved and snowballed from there. So she's going to help us start trying to get more listeners, more viewers to explore and see all that Gratwick has to offer and all the things that we have been doing over these years. Oh, David.
That's such a sweet offer, David.
and she's going to start helping create a funnel that brings people to the past of Gratcast so that people can see and realize these guys have been here all along. They've been fighting the studio system since the moment they stepped foot into Hollywood, and they've been trying to build a better way for not just ourselves, but everyone else that stands to benefit from that. So if you are one of the people watching this Gratcast, and you have discovered it through the campaign page or through the things that are going to be happening throughout October and beyond, please don't just stop here and take a look at what we've done with this episode and the last couple episodes. Go back a couple of years. There's 150 episodes.
The quality is not as good. Remember, the technology wasn't as good either. Well, the equipment wasn't as good.
For a good 100 episodes, it was pretty much only an audio podcast as well. So we've moved and expanded with all of this. But go back and check out different episodes along the way. See the sea of hosts that have come and gone from Gratcast as we've continued to move on and people have come and gone in Los Angeles and friends have been made and lost and people's lives have changed and twisted. This is all documented for people to discover and realize that we didn't just show up 2 months ago and decide that we're gonna try and start running a campaign here and expect people to just dive in and hope for the best. No, this has been something that has been planned and evolved and fine-tuned and tested and heart and soul has been poured into this for 10 freaking years to reach the precipice of where we are in the next couple of weeks. And it's all there for you guys to discover and be exposed to. I at one point I went back through all this and counted. There's at least 5 different incidences over the past 10 years where I literally predicted the sea change of shifts that would happen in Hollywood and the entertainment industry and the way technology would be done and the way people would start moving away from their platforms and creating their own platforms and get rid of these aggregators. How people would be vulnerable to YouTube censorship and having their channels shut down and being censored because you're using somebody else's technology and tools. I called all of this stuff years in advance. We were screaming about Harvey Weinstein and Jeffrey Epstein back in 2011, 2012, when it wasn't cool, when those were dark topics to talk about and they weren't fun and nobody wanted to hear about that stuff. But people needed to hear about that stuff. This is how far back we go. And I really hope anyone that does watch and discover this episode in the coming weeks will take the time and see what else is out there as far as Gratcast is concerned and how much we sincerely care about what we're trying to do here and why we're trying to do it. Anything to add, dear?
Nope.
Yay, Tess.
Yay, Tess.
We're
very grateful.
That's what Tess would summarize all of that as.
Yay, Tess.
Yay, Tess.
All right. We are going to move on to The Discord questions. We haven't had those in a little while.
See, that's why we need the sound effects. Discord questions!
All right, first one. Sam asks, who do you think is going to be in the Super Bowl this season?
Well,
no, who do you think? Not who do you want, not who do you wish. Who do you honestly think is going to make it to Super Bowl? Let's see your prediction skills, boyo.
If the Bills split with the Patriots, I think the Bills are going to win the division. I'm hoping that Antonio Brown is exactly the cancer that the New England Patriots need to bring this never-ending dynasty to an end. And if it's not this year, then from next year on, it's the Bills' time now. But I think it has a strong chance of happening this season, and people are going to be surprised. We haven't lost at all this season, preseason, for week 1, week 2, week 3 coming up.
We've seen this before.
This is different. We've got a quarterback this time. All those other times were optical illusions. We all knew in our hearts those were optical illusions, but we've got a quarterback. And
I could jinx it and point out that you've had a quarterback before who got hurt. You guys have gotten some really good players who got hurt really quickly and it affected it.
No,
you've never had good players who got hurt at the beginning of the season.
Quarterbacks? No.
Your chance?
We have not had, and I'm not the biggest Jim Kelly fan for on and off the field reasons, but we did. He was the right quarterback for that team at that time. I will never doubt that. And I think once again we have the right quarterback for this team at this time. And I think that they're a sleeper pick to make the Super Bowls here. The AFC is freaking weak. It's beat up. Other than Kansas City and Buffalo, and Kansas City hasn't proven that their defense. I mean, they lost a game last year where their offense scored 50 points. We've got a serious defense. So I'll take my chances with a complete team over a heavily dominant one-sided team. The Patriots are the only question mark. If the Patriots didn't exist, I think Buffalo would be a front runner for a Super Bowl appearance this season. So I think, you know what would be a dream Super Bowl? Bills-Rams.
Bills-Bears.
No.
Come on! Both of them had such long runs of getting to the Super Bowl, of getting their own little dances that they did because they were around so long.
That was 1985. One season.
I think it should be them.
The Bears didn't have long runs of getting to the Super Bowl.
Whatever. The Bears are awesome, and I'm going for the Bears. Just because they're cool, and I would like to see that dance come back.
Even the Patriots have not made it to 4 straight Super Bowls, so we still have that. But yeah, Bills-Rams, that's my Super Bowl pick. You heard it here first. Call me a fucking homer all you want, but you're goddamn right I'm a homer. Go Bills! Especially, this Mafia weekend is going to be insane.
I bet it is. This is their first game at home, right? And they've
of the
won
season, yeah.
Both the other games away, which means everyone's
in the same stadium.
Super, super happy.
We're going to go to New York twice. We're probably going to have more wins in that stadium than either one of the teams that play there.
How many teams are in New York?
One, the Bills.
No. How many teams have the words New York in their name?
How many teams claim to be from New York?
Yes.
2 claim to be from New York City. The New York Jets and the New York Giants.
Okay.
They both have their stadium and their headquarters and their practice facilities and all of that happy horse shit in New Jersey. So, yeah.
So who gets the money, New Jersey or New York?
What do you mean, who gets the money?
The franchise has to pay taxes. Who gets the money, New Jersey or New York?
Well, probably New Jersey.
Then they shouldn't get to use New York's name.
Absolutely. And, it was great. They asked our quarterback at the end of the game yesterday, with a little change in luck, you could have ended up in New York, insinuating that he could have been drafted by either the Jets or the Giants because they both picked before the Bills. And our quarterback's response, I am in New York. I play for the only team in New York.
Bravo to him.
Yeah, that's our quarterback, brah.
Aww.
So, yeah, Bills-Rams is absolutely my Super Bowl pick. I think it's probably a season early, but that's who I am. I'm always the early adopter. I'm always the guy that's freaking 10 steps ahead of the curve and a little too far for ahead for my own good. So it's coming.
All right, next question. Siobhan wants to know.
Who's your Super Bowl pick for this season?
I already said the Bears. And you know what? Screw your team. I'm going to go the Bears versus Jacksonville Jaguars. Because apparently, since they were brought up on the good place, they're doing better.
No.
Yeah. I'm going to have them both.
They're 0-2. Their coach is going to get fired at the end of the season, who was a cast-off of the Bills, by the way.
So that gives him no reason to follow the rules, break out the cool plays.
Their star player tried to get in a fist fight with their coach on Sunday and has demanded for a trade as of today. That's a tire fire. Oh, their quarterback that they just traded for, who was a Super Bowl MVP of the Eagles, Nick Foles, is hurt and injured for, if not the entire season, a substantial part of it.
So it's going to be an amazing comeback, everyone. When they get to the Super Bowl, it's going to be like, holy crap, no one expected it.
Tire fire. Tire fire in Duval.
Seriously, if your coach is getting fired and he knows it at the end of the year, why wouldn't he break out all the plays that they don't normally do, that aren't traditional? You know, like the give the ball to one guy and everyone circle them and walk him down the field.
You mean like burn a rookie quarterback's career to put the old bum Kyle Orton in to win a couple extra games just so you can make yourself look good so you can hopefully get hired by some other team because you know you're done with this team? Yeah, you're talking to the right guy because that's exactly what their coach did to get there in the first place. So they got what they wanted. He is what we thought he was.
Now they know he'll pull shenanigans this year too. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Siobhan wants to know, as fall approaches, what are some of your favorite aspects of the season? Is it gearing up for the holidays, the family time, pumpkin spice, watching Hocus Pocus and Addams Family on repeat with no shame?
There is no better time of the year than fall on the East Coast. Like when we were back there for the wedding a couple weeks ago, it was
humid.
It was right at that crisps. Like the first couple days were hot and humid. The next couple days cooled off, and you could sense.
It was hot the whole time.
You could sense fall was coming.
It was hot and sticky the whole freaking time. I don't know why you're pretending that it got chilly at all. It did not get chilly in August.
The hint was in the air that it was coming. You could smell football season was coming, and that's really the vibe, the football in the air vibe that the Northeast has when that time of season comes is just something that I absolutely miss and love tremendously. What comes after it with snowflakes and shit is an absolute living nightmare. But hoodie weather, oh boy, you can't beat freaking hoodie weather. When you can wear hoodies and shorts, which is like the September, October wheelhouse. Wow, that's the best time of the year. And tailgates. Oh, when we were walking around Sunday for the home opener, all the food cooking on the grills and all of that. And I'll tell you, Rams fans.
Right, the autumn smell.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. There's football in the air, and Rams fans. Screw them as far as coming to tailgates and all that. They're tailgating all over the place and all of this and that. But listen, Buffalo, when we go do the street team with the girls walking around passing the flyers, I promise you, every single tailgate we walk by is going to offer us a beer. They're going to offer us a sausage, hang out, freaking all this. Rams fans, no, they didn't do that. Nobody in the tailgate parties really offered us any food or invited us to stay or anything like that. We were invited to come back
to a couple of the Saints ones.
Yeah.
Oh, there was one that was doing the shrimp, or was it the crab? They were doing the big
crabs. What we should have took a picture of.
That looked amazing.
Which is absolute heresy in the football world. And I should have brought this picture to throw these people under the bus. They have what's called tailgate concierges.
You can pay a company to set up a tailgate for you.
Yeah.
Which is literally pathetic.
A couple assholes setting up a 10x10 tent with some folding chairs on it.
And one TV in front of each tent. Yeah. And that is your area, and no one's allowed to come up to you.
And it's not even in a field, in a parking lot or anything. It's in the side grassy area of a walkway.
Like they put you away from everyone else. And not in a VIP way, more like in a no one's gonna know you're freaking here way. And it's not fun because it was dead silent.
Like the tailgates around the Rams stadium are so freaking weird. There's like random patches of grass around the buildings and the streets and some walkways and that, and they just try to squeeze themselves in on this little random patch of grass.
It was yeah. It was kind of sad, but the Saints people were definitely doing it right. They got giant RVs that had TVs built into the, like, you know where it's usually the pop-out part that makes the bedroom? Instead of it being a pop-out, it was just like you lift up the wall and there's all TVs. Tons of TVs. Built-in fridges along the way. Oh, they did it right. The Saints people came, and they came hard.
Bonfires. Another great part about fall.
Yeah, that's not allowed at USC. Fire not allowed.
Well, I'm not even talking about tailgates now. I'm just talking about Friday nights in the fall. After the Friday night lights, you have a fire. Everybody's hanging out, sitting in folding chairs, drinking, melting plastic to your ankles. Freaking, you can't beat that stuff. But overall, it can be summed up as hoodies and shorts. When you can wear a hoodie with a short, you know you're in the wheelhouse of the best time of the year.
I think my favorite aspects of it are it's finally cool enough that I can bake again. Like, right now, unless we have the air conditioning going, I can't put the damn oven on, which pisses me off because I would like to make pies. I would like to make breads. I would like to make yummy things. And he won't let me do it because it's too damn hot in the damn house. You can feel it everywhere, even if it's just on for a half an hour. So, that is my favorite part. I won't let you do it. It is bacon time.
Because when it comes time to walk up a mountain like I had to do for the wedding, I can't make it 10 steps without...
Yeah, no one is making you eat the whole damn pie, sir. I would like a piece or two. I would like to give some away to our friendly neighbors.
You definitely have a piece or two.
And you get all mad when I give them away to the neighbors. Oh, I made that for the neighbors, huh? I mean, then you say, yeah, I make too much for you. You don't want to share. How does this work out?
The junk food ends the day I come back from Buffalo.
I think you shouldn't do junk food while you're in Buffalo. You want to prove that you want to be healthy? How about you eat healthy in Buffalo? You prove that. Come back 5 pounds lighter, and I'll stop baking.
I'm not going back for 3 days of what amounts to tailgate parties and football and not eating. You are out of your absolute mind.
I didn't say you couldn't eat. I just said don't eat junk food. Come back 5 pounds lighter. You're a boy. It's easy. You just cut out one thing and you lose 5 pounds in a day.
You've been to Buffalo enough times to know that's all there is.
Oh, that's an insult to your Buffalonian friends.
Absolutely not. That is a freaking badge of honor.
Do you guys appreciate that? They take an awful lot of time to make their food. If you choose to eat the mighty taco and the greasy of greasiest pizzas, while you know
Stingers,
people are going to be having chowder
chicken
parties.
Wings, chowder, yeah, all
Chowder is healthy. Chowder is mainly broth and vegetables and some meat thrown in there. If you think that's unhealthy,
not the way we cook it.
You got some problems.
Not the way we cook it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, hoodies and shorts.
Baking time. Ooh, and you can have tea again. Like hot tea at night or hot cocoa.
Okay.
Yeah. Those are my favorite parts about getting ready for the fall season.
Moving on
to bullet blitzes.
Bullet blitzes.
I've got mine. What are yours?
I've got 2 good ones.
All right. Then I'm going first.
Fine.
The Venice Film Festival has rules for their press. It's a normal thing. It's a lot of the films that haven't been released. Well, pretty much that's a rule of almost all film festivals, is you cannot have released them or had pre-screenings because they want to be the ones to be able to, first shown here, debuted here. So their rule is, while it's happening, press cannot tweet about it, you cannot write about it. There's an embargo on all the pre-screenings. So one member of the press decided he didn't want to listen and started tweeting about stuff while he was watching it.
Was he watching Joker?
It was another one of them, like the Goldfinch or something. Venice Film Festival, of course, caught him while it was happening.
Did they tar and feather him?
Slapped on the wrist. Don't do it. What does he do?
Tweets
he goes home and writes an article about how he's having his freedom of speech impinged upon, and how dare them and the creators of that content he's writing about tell him that he can't write about it right away.
The amount of people that cry about freedom of speech and have no idea what the freedom of speech laws actually are absolutely asinine.
So do you think it was limiting it to the press, or is it protective of the filmmakers for Venice Film Festival to tell them not to tweet about it until a certain time, not to write about it until a certain time when all of the press can do it at once?
Number one, it's just common decency and professional courtesy. That's the terms of you coming and seeing the movie ahead of time.
And getting a free pass.
Yeah.
You're allowed to be there to be in the know.
So, yeah, you want to go be an asshole? I mean, technically, legally, you can go say whatever stupid shit you want. That's freedom of speech, yeah. But You can easily not be invited back again, not get any more passes, get blackballed from your own freaking industry.
Have your entire publication not be allowed
Look
to
like an asshole.
One person doesn't know how to follow the rules. Thinks they're above the rules. That's my biggest problem. He thought he was above the rules, but everybody else followed the very polite rule of just wait until they said we could. It's not like they were told you'll wait till whenever. They all knew there was a very specific time, like 2 days later, that you can say you saw it. You cannot talk about it. You cannot give your impression of it. You can't give any of the details about it. No spoilers.
And you basically agreed to that when you showed up.
You agreed to it when you asked for the tickets. And you knew when they said, before we'll give it to you, you need to sign this one thing saying, I agree to the following rules.
But
then we will issue you a goddamn press ticket.
The whole freedom of speech crap that, my freedom of speech is being opposed to, I'm being censored.
Like, at least it was an individual this time and not Comcast saying that their freedom of speech as a company is being infringed upon.
You've got a couple rants in here. I'm trying to squeeze a few opinions in.
Okay.
The entire freedom of speech argument is always propped up by morons. Absolute morons. Your freedom of speech is only protected when dealing with the government. When outspeaking against the government. You go call your boss a piece of shit and your boss fires you, your freedom of speech isn't protected from getting your job taken away. No one said you don't get any consequences for freedom of speech. All they're saying is the government can't arrest you and shut you down and penalize you for what you say. The government. Not the technology companies whose platforms you're using, not the film festival that you agreed to show up to and not talk about shit, not your friends that you have terrible, horrible opinions of and you throw out there on Facebook and then they're not friends with you anymore because, oh, my freedom of speech. Yeah, say whatever the fuck you want, but you're not free from consequences. If I go say something stupid and racist and horrible right now, then freaking I deserve whatever recourse and anger and animosity comes my way because that's social accountability.
There are still things called slander and libel that you can get sued for.
Yeah.
Because you're not protected to say whatever the fuck you want. If it impugns on someone else's freedoms, if it hurts them, you don't get to do it.
Freedom of speech is if I said, I don't like or trust the government, and tomorrow a bunch of federal agents showed up at my door and dragged me through the streets like we're in Russia. That's your freedom of speech. That's when it's time to get afraid. That's when it's time to fight back. That's when it's time to get angry. Not when you're sucking off the nipple of YouTube and freaking you're making a career out of pushing the envelope and YouTube doesn't want you on board anymore because you're disrupting YouTube's business and their ability to shill out ads to every other asshole and sponsor that comes along and doesn't want to endorse your garbage. That's not freedom of speech. That's you disrupting their business with your opinions. They're completely free to do so.
Okay.
So again, all of y'all people bitching about big tech companies shutting down your freedom of speech, build your own platform.
You in big trouble now.
Oh, I'm sure I am. I'm sure the lemmings are going to jump on that one and get all angry about how freaking, YouTube's censoring us and shutting us down. Yeah, because YouTube exists to sell ads.
Because YouTube, unfortunately, is owned by Google, which is owned by another company that all have laws and rules they have to follow.
Hold up, because now we're tipping into a different area. If YouTube or if Google, who owns search engines and things like that, is intentionally manipulating their algorithms to hide what information people have access to when they have pretty much what amounts to a monopoly on search engines and information, that is a completely different argument, and that is a completely different problem. That is social manipulation, and that is using their antitrust freaking exclusions and skirting arounds to manipulate society to their own political agendas. That's a completely different issue that needs to be addressed, investigated, and dealt with if that's what's happening. But you saying whatever nonsense you want on YouTube while they're trying to sell ads, yeah, absolutely they can say you're hurting our business. They're two different arguments there. Just because
I didn't know we got into the second one at all. I don't know how you got there.
You just brought it up. You just brought up Google and all of that. Two completely different things. They're all owned by one, but the reason YouTube is shutting people down is because all they care about is selling ads. And the reason Google is manipulating search engine results is because all they care about is manipulating what the public sees and how much information they have access to. That is a completely different argument that absolutely deserves social condemnation and legal intervention.
Yeah, I actually wasn't brushing on that.
You brought up
that
Google.
YouTube is owned by another company that also has its own rules and laws it has to follow. So if YouTube kicks someone off, it's not just YouTube that's in trouble or that has decided that. It's their parent company has decided that. And whoever owns Google, whatever main company there is up there that's hiding, whatever Koch brother owns that.
The Alphabet company.
Exactly. They're the ones who are actually making those rules too. So it all flows down. Everyone thinks that it's all free until you look and see where it all goes back to, and no one's free. None of it's free.
There's a complete difference between Google and YouTube in this particular topic. One has no right to be censoring what information you have access to through a search engine. Mm-hmm. The other one is trying to sell ads to people, and certain extreme viewpoints don't sell ads.
All right, your turn.
All right. 2 of the 3 of these things are trending on Twitter.
Today?
Yes.
I didn't look at Twitter today.
Well, that's good. You won't know which one it is. Your job is to pick which 2 of the 3 are trending.
Okay.
Mad TV, Seinfeld, and the original Nintendo.
Seinfeld. And probably the original Nintendo.
Got 1 out of 2.
Seinfeld.
Seinfeld is trending.
Seinfeld has been trending for weeks.
No, it's trending. It's trending now because.
Is there a movie coming out?
No, because it's big, huge news that Netflix got Seinfeld, which is all great and all.
Dude, Crackle had Seinfeld. Big deal.
Yeah, well, whatever. But it's all great except for the fact it won't be on Netflix until 2021. So why do I give a shit today? Well, I don't care. Announce that shit in the end of 2020. Hey, coming next year, Seinfeld on Netflix. But yeah, apparently everybody's freaking out about it. Woo!
What's the other one that's trending? Right
Mad
now?
TV is trending because the SNL guy got fired.
And went over to Mad TV?
No.
That would have been some smart play.
He tweeted, "It's okay, I'm a Mad TV guy over SNL anyway." Which Mad TV isn't even around anymore,
So he might as well have said he's with kids in the hall.
But yeah, he's like, I like Mad TV over SNL anyway, which just sounds like some bitter
way of saying
some bitter bitch shit.
I was a dumb shit at one point and forgot to take it all off my damn page.
I don't know. Let's say you're a racist. Let's say you have horrible, stupid, ignorant opinions. I don't know why you voluntarily go put that shit online and put that shit out there and make these stupid jokes. Even if it was the climate of 10 years ago. You just make yourself look stupid. Like, even if you honestly in your heart feel that way, why go announce it to the world and allow people to make discriminatory or presumptions about what type of person you are? I just don't understand why people advertise their ignorance and prejudice.
What I don't get is, everyone knows all employers look at your social media now. All of them. If they can't get to your page because it's private, they look at your friends. And they go to your friends' page and see what you have on there that have you in it. Why would you ever put anything that's letting an employer know you're kind of a shitty person? Like, even if you're a comedian and it was supposed to be, haha, funny, it's written word. Tone doesn't come across in text.
Because once again,
I'm very sorry, but it does make you look like a shitty person.
Once again, we're dealing with the drooling morons that think their freedom of speech is protected and think that freedom of speech means no consequences for my stupidity, which is not the same thing.
Or in this case, for my hatred of others. Like,
dude, if you hate people for blind reasons without even meeting them and all of that, I mean, that's your choice. I can't tell you that you should think differently any more than I can tell you I think mushrooms suck. I think mushrooms taste like it's like chewing on slugs.
But you don't have to talk about it. You don't have to tell anyone else you feel that way unless they specifically ask you. You want some mushrooms? Then you can. But you don't need to go around and point at mushrooms on other people's fucking pizza and go, gross, fucking gross, and then give them a talking to about how they shouldn't eat mushrooms because you don't like them. Like, that's as much as anyone's preference on anything in the world. How dare you go around and tell anyone else what your preference is unless they ask you? Whatever happened to keep your fucking mouth shut till someone's talking to you?
And freaking, in condemnation of the mushrooms, they are all the fucking same. They all, every mushroom tastes like every other mushroom, and freaking, they're all squishy, and
I like mushrooms.
They're all gross. So at least there is a uniform bias across the board on the freaking mushrooms. I've met good people and bad people, all different colors, shapes, sizes, attitudes. Huh. And here's the thing. This is what I don't get on this stuff is there's a lot of old rich white guys that have done a lot of horrible shitty stuff in the society today, in the world we live in, all the way back. I don't want to be lumped in and blanketed with them because I'm getting older and now I'm a bald guy. So do I want to just be assumed that like I'm a terrible old fat cat because I'm just I'm a bald white guy? No, I don't want to be lumped in with that shit. So how can I expect people to give me the benefit of the doubt that I'm an individual, as crazy as I may be, if I'm not willing to give another individual the same benefit?
There you go. All right. My question. Next one. So, this was going around on Twitter. I'm sure some of you saw this video. In St. Louis, there was a robbery in a bar where a patron refused to hit the ground while everyone else did, sat on his bar stool.
Cool as a cucumber.
This guy had, like, a shotgun pointed at him. Nope, I'm not going on the ground. Tries to take the guy who's robbing them. Yeah. The robber tries to take this guy's cell phone from his hand. He's sitting here like this, beer in one hand, and the dude's reaching across, and he's, nope. Guy grabs onto it, and he just looks him straight in the eye, goes like this, no, and grabs it back like this. The robber decides, fuck it, I don't need your fucking cell phone after all.
It's not worth the trouble.
You're not going to call the cops, apparently. You're not doing that. You're just sitting there. So the robber goes around behind the bar, and is right in front of him, keeping the shotgun pointed at him, and the guy just, alright, lights a fucking cigarette, sits there like this, and just moves his phone over closer to him, sits there with his beer like this and a cigarette like this, just watching the dude and smoking. No sweat coming, as cool as a freaking cucumber. And the robber just gets the money out of the cash register and leaves. How cool. Do you think you could be that cool? Like, I know you. You would want to fight.
So I got two responses.
Could you be that calm to be like, dude, there is no fight between me and you? Take your fucking money.
The reason that dude was that calm, and this was confirmed in the interview.
He did an interview with the news.
Is because that dude straight didn't give a fuck anymore. Like, that probably why he's just sitting in a bar drinking all day anyway. He just didn't give a shit anymore. Like, you're not taking my phone. You want to kill me, but I'm not. You're not. Nobody else in this goddamn society's walking over me today. That's how he was. For me, it takes two hands to shoot a shotgun. You come over and start grabbing my phone, I'm going for your goddamn gun. And then we'll see how the chips fall. But, like...
wrestling over a gun, there's always a bang, and then there's never good. No. Never good. But I do love the fact that you're not allowed to smoke indoors in St. Louis, like most places. This dude just decides, you know what? There's already a robbery going.
If he can rob the place, I'm smoking.
We're breaking the law. Let's break the law, everybody. Smoke them if you got them. Fuck it. Like, that is awesome. But I think that guy should get to smoke in there whenever he wants.
If you only got one hand on your shotgun, I'm totally going for it.
Yeah. So that was my... Would you be able to be that calm? I would like to think I could be that calm. I'd actually like to think that I could be down on the ground and be allowed to start smoking a cigarette down there. Like, that's when you do it. Be like, dude, I'm not going for anything else. I'm just going to sit here. You go about your business. If you want a cigarette, here's one for you.
See...
There's another reason why everyone should smoke, because... most bad guys smoke, at least in movies. So then you have a buddy. He doesn't want to kill you because you're the dude giving him cigarettes.
I'm so hyper vigilant with the exits at all times. I'd like to think that I would have got the jump on this motherfucker the second he came walking through the door. I see, dude's coming in. I dare this dude to come in here with that gun. And I'd have jumped him before he even realized that freaking somebody was standing next to the door.
David says me too, as long as I'm behind him. I like that idea. Try and hide.
So,
all right, Kris, your one. Last one of the night.
Boom. Felicity Huffman got 14 days for bribing and being a part of the college admission scam.
She got more than that. She got 14 days in jail, about $300,000 in fines, and
the money doesn't matter.
Community service days.
You're already willing to throw hundreds of dollars away to get your kids into college. You don't care about the $300 fine.
$300,000.
Yeah, you don't care about the $300,000 fine, whatever.
Which is the equivalent to what she would have had to pay in fucking tuition anyway.
And bribes. So again, the money's irrelevant. Mm-hmm. And as far as the community service, I promise you that's going to be some happy horseshit brand building stuff anyway. Because, we could do some community service and build your brand back up, so they'll be rebooting Desperate Housewives 2 by the time you're done with community service. So that's a bunch of pomp and circumstance. You know how I know that? You want to know what kind of community service they gave me for a traffic violation? I got to go work at...
Dude, say that again. For a what? For a what?
A traffic violation.
And why should you have hard crime for a minor
community
service?
Community service is community service. Mm-hmm. Community service is community service. So my community service and her community service, same type of shit. So if I'm getting powder puff community service, she's sure as shit getting powder puff community service. You want to know what they had me do for community service? I had to do 100 hours at Theater West and volunteer and help out at the theater. I would have done that shit for free. I even actually did, after the community service was over, go help out a few times for free because it was cool as hell. I got to work the soundboard. I got to freaking help set up for some of the plays. I got to go and rip tickets for people that came in for the plays. I got free wine and snacks and shit after the performances. Oh, dude, that was the greatest community service ever. I was like, frick, shit. What else can I get into trouble for and have me do this? But yeah, so none of those things. The only thing that counts is the 14 days in jail, which, as my question states, how many days do you actually think she will spend in jail? And do you think the sentence was too light?
I think she will make it 2 days. And then she will Paris Hilton her fucking way out. With I'm so sick, I can't handle this, my stress, meh. And she'll actually get away with it by getting some private doctor to say she has to be out of that situation.
It's very stressful for her.
She gets to go stay at home for the rest of that 2 weeks. Ooh, so rough. Do I think it's too light? Yes. I think there are many, many people who are not able to pay for college and who qualify and should have been considered, and I'm sure her child, and same with Aunt Becky's child, aren't the dumbest people in the world, and they probably could have gotten into a college off of their grades. Not top colleges, but they would have gotten into college. And honestly, like they even freaking need it because their parents have so much money, all they need to do is make a little makeup line or clothing line and they're done for life. They're good to go. But I also think the colleges are the ones who should definitely be going to jail too.
Well, they're going to throw the book at the guy that was running the whole scam.
Oh, I don't want him to lose his job. I want him to go to jail, too. For every student he accepted in, which means that there are how many other students who weren't? How many people who actually did row and didn't get accepted for scholarships, let alone even on the team? And he's willing to accept girls who've never even been in a boat. At least not an actual little boat, like a canoe. So, no, I think it should have been harder. I think they got off a little light. And honestly, I think the daughter should be in trouble too. I think the kids who are going to be getting it, they know what their parents were doing. They're not stupid. They knew that they were accepted when they shouldn't have been.
Yeah, well, the kids had to pose for the rowing pictures and stuff to help give some evidence that they were that they rode in all these different things. So they helped stage the pictures.
I think they should be stuck going to community college. They shouldn't be allowed to get beyond an AA degree.
Let's be honest.
No school should let them. No, University of Phoenix can do it.
They're pampered and entitled scions. They're like, it doesn't matter what college they go to. If they don't go to college at all, the nepotism's gonna make sure they're taken care of anyway.
Like I said, they don't need college. All they need to do is come up with a lip gloss. And
well, I'm pretty sure that the daughter did have her own kind of either makeup line or wardrobe line or something like that.
Which is even stupider because she could have gone to business school.
And she was a YouTube star making tons of money off of that stuff. So
why wouldn't she have gone to business school? She already has businesses going. It would have been nothing but having more hands on her own company.
It was all about
smarter.
It was all about the vanity of being able to brag at parties. Oh, my daughter goes to USC. So does mine. So does mine. They're in the club. Da 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 da. But to me, the height of entitlement of this entire thing and shows how much these people just don't get it. I don't know if you heard about this. The creator of Desperate Housewives. So when you get sentenced, your friends and family and stuff can write letters of recommendation on your behalf and argue for a lighter sentence and all of that. Do you know what this asshole that created Desperate Housewives wrote on behalf of Felicity Huffman?
What?
He recanted a tale about how tough Felicity's life is because when she first got cast in Desperate Housewives and they had a casting party, he remembers her crying to him one time because all the other girls, all the other Desperate Housewives were so much prettier than she was and she didn't feel like she fit in with the group.
This isn't camp. This is not junior high camp for your 1 week away from mom and dad.
How is this even a letter of recommendation? Like, what?
Are they just...
Relevancy.
Was he just trying to show she has a weak character?
Judge, relevancy. But he was trying to argue that this is why she felt pressured that she had to do things like this for her daughters to like her and things. Because she wasn't the prettiest housewife.
For her daughter to like her?
Yeah, well, this is all part of it as well. This was another argument they made that she's already suffered enough because her daughters are angry and won't even talk to her anymore, and their families been fractured by all this.
Which is appropriate. There are consequences to your actions. Like you should have been teaching your children the whole time that when you fuck up, there are consequences, which is disappointment. I am disappointed in you that you would even consider doing that. I'm angry you did it. I'm disappointed that you even tried to. I thought you knew better. She deserves to have her whole family looking at her like that. In fact, you know who should? The extended family. Fuck you. You haven't been helping out your nieces and nephews and you just pulled that. No, you don't get to be my nose in the sky because I was a star. Oh no, you're the ghetto gangster mama who decided that she was buying her daughter a chance in.
You're a world-class scriptwriter that made one of the biggest shows of all time, and the best bullshit story you could write in defense of your friend is there was just one time where she cried because she wasn't the prettiest girl on the show that she got paid millions of dollars to be on. That's the best story you can come up with to defend your friend? Like, if I'm the judge, I'm throwing a book at her just for this shit. But yeah, so I obviously I think the sentence is way too low. I don't know. She pleaded out versus Aunt Becky. Aunt Becky, who
Aunt Becky said, "Prove it."
Prove it. Aunt Becky, who's so entitled that she decided to fight it, and now Aunt Becky's all upset because she saw the slap on the wrist that Felicity got, and she's all upset now that she didn't plead. But Aunt Becky, really? You didn't think that they were going to give a slap on the wrist and get off easy if you just accepted guilt? But no, you had to try to fight the system. So Aunt Becky, I'd give 2 years to right off the jump for being stupid. And Felicity Huffman, I'd give her 6 months. And no, she'd probably walk out in 3. And at 3 would be like 30 years for someone like her.
What about her husband? Don't pretend that the wife knows and the husband doesn't.
Pretty much, William H. Macy has stayed out of this entire thing, and this was completely orchestrated by the mother.
Was he off on set somewhere the whole time, and he had no idea?
So, answering for my question, I think she doesn't even do one overnight in jail. I think she's going to get booked. She's going to get brought in. They'll do the fingerprints and all that shit. They'll take the pictures. Those will probably leak on TMZ for a little bit of embarrassment.
Of course.
And she'll be home in her bed that night because overcrowding, we don't have enough money and available space to give her pampered own little section that she'd have to have, and special treatment because, again,
it's not safe to have her with the general population.
Yeah, so
it's not safe. They're gonna hurt her. They don't like her.
Yeah,
because she's so freaking rich and she just tried to screw over what all of them would have loved to do for their children.
Yeah, so they're gonna say that they're not properly equipped to deal with that type of situation. She'll be walked right out the back door, and that'll be the end of it. So we're gonna wrap this show up here. I've got some more work to do tonight with Tess, and we're gonna dive into all of that stuff. Friday night, we're going live 6 p.m. on the East Coast, 3 p.m. on
Get your tickets at
on the West Coast
ticketleap.com
time.
if you are in the Buffalo area.
So the event is only going to be on Gratwork Productions YouTube page. On Facebook, if you want to watch on Facebook, it's going to be the Mafia Homecoming Parties page. So go ahead and like that if you do want to watch the party. Saturday, the live stream is going to be on the Cold Front Reports Facebook page, and again, it'll be on the Gratwork Productions YouTube page. Then Sunday, the tailgate party will be on the Why So Serious Facebook page, the Cold Front Facebook page, and Gratwork Productions again on YouTube. Do not miss the Pinto Ron mustard and ketchup shower.
Fun.
Anything else, dear?
Kris is going to be gone. I get a week of freedom. We are not sure if there's going to be a show on Monday. I'm going to give you guys that warning right now because Kris is still going to be in Buffalo. There is a 50-50 chance, and that's me being generous, that there will be a show Monday. I'm going to guess most likely not, but that also means Kris gets to show some footage, and he gets to have some pictures and everything to show the following week.
I might do Gratcast myself on Monday from the phone. In Buffalo.
You and Ann?
No, I'm not gonna have my mom.
Why not?
Co-host Gratcast.
Ann is so cool. We could all have a glass of wine with Ann.
If you're all lucky, I might co-host with Piper.
Do they know who Piper is?
I think we've talked about Piper a time or two.
Piper, the newly crawling niece.
Yeah, it's about friggin'
all over
time.
The place.
All right.
All right, everyone. Thank you. We will see you soon. And if you have any questions, comments, check us out on Facebook, on YouTube, D-Live. Twitter, you can find us there too, at Gratwick Productions or at Gratwick Prod Inc. And you can join our Discord if you want. Talk to us all the time. Discord.me/Gratwick.
That's the social media stuff.
There you go, everyone.
Please like and subscribe. And if you ever subscribe during the show, fireworks go off. Something to look forward to.
That'll be something to try. All right. Thank you all so much. And sorry it took a couple times to get this going. Damn internet. Spectrum. See you guys soon. Bye.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks. Don't mind me. I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Excuse me, please. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Nope. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Alright then. I don't know what the fuck just happened, but I don't really care. I'ma get the fuck up out of here. Fuck this shit, I'm out.